Hi, Ange. You touched on it at the end of the first section there, but I think everyone's expecting a great game tomorrow, like one for the neutrals, two teams attacking, playing the right way. Just wonder kind of how much you personally are relishing that challenge.
Yeah, look, you can't script it. It's probably going to end up being 0-0 and fairly dull and boring. But I do. I like, I love the 3-3 at their place. It was a cracking game. Aside from you take away yourself from it, and we were lucky to be in at half time. We should have been well out of it. They missed some unbelievable chances, but we hung in there, and then we got on top and. We might have even snuck a win at the end of it, but there were so many sort of storylines within the game. I love that, and that's what I love about football. And that's what you kind of want. You obviously want to win because that makes you feel better about what's happened. But yeah, you're playing against, like I said, arguably the best side in the world, and we feel like we can have a crack at them, and we will, and see what the outcome is.
And Sonny's obviously away. You've spoken before about how he kind of transcends groups in the squad. I sort of wondered, do you feel his absence from the group when he's physically not around the place? Has that been something the last?
Yeah, look, there's definitely a void there, but again, with all these things, there's always opportunities, and that's where Romero's really stepped up the last sort of. You just feel it around the place. He knows that Sonny's not here, and he knows what Sonny does on a day. Sonny gets around every person in the building and says, "How you going?" And Christian's doing that now. I can see that. Training, he's a lot more vocal than he was in the past. So that's the beauty of it. Where there is a void because you're missing, one of your leader. For me, just sitting outside, then you're kind of waiting. Okay, is anyone going to step up here because we're going to need someone to, or do I have to interject myself into it to? But like I said, he stepped up, and there's been others within that. Vic in goals, he stepped up, and there's a real sort of good feeling amongst the group at the moment about where they're at. That they understand that. Like I said, because of what we've been through, okay, somebody's missing, man down, we just keep going, and somebody fills that void, and we keep going till they come back. And I think it's been good for the growth of this team. I think this year, for me, is about growth, and you don't want to orchestrate these scenarios where we get challenged and we have players missing and everything, but the fact that we have gone through it, I just think it's accelerated our growth. If we had everything run smoothly, you'd be worrying, well, it's going to hit us at some stage, how we're going to react to it. So we could have flown through this first half of the year, and I'm sure all the questions to me would have been, well, what happens when there's a hiccup, because a hiccup will come, and I wouldn't be able to answer that question. I'd bluff my way through it, but I wouldn't be able to really answer it. But I already know, I've seen the resilience, and part of that is how we've dealt with those absences.
Is there sort of any part of you that thinks that big injury crisis was well timed
then? It depends on how we finish the season, mate. When you're going through it, no, because we started the season so well, and you just wanted to keep going, and you see the growth. But like I said, there's always a challenge, and if it wasn't the injuries, it would have been something else. I guarantee you, something else would have been in our path to trip us up, and we would have tripped up because we're still in the early stages of building a team. And it's when you trip up, what do you do? Do you get back up, or you kind of bemoan the fact that you've fallen down? So, whatever those challenges are, and there'll be more ahead. Like I said, hopefully, knock on wood, we're over this injury crisis, but there'll be other challenges, trust me. And for me, the good thing is that we've handled the first one in a manner where I've seen the team grow, and that's got to be our objective with whatever comes ahead.
Can I just ask you one more about the challenge of facing someone like De Bruyne? How do you go about stopping someone like that?
No, look, he's an outstanding footballer. I mean, he's a brilliant footballer. He's one of those guys you just love to watch. Apart from if you're playing against him, but if you fall into the trap of thinking that's just the key to this Man City team, then that's where you trip up, because they've got quality all over the place where they can hurt you. And I've always felt, fair to say, in my coaching journey, whenever I've been to the big tournaments, I've gone in as, the underdog. But I've always felt like the only chance we've got is doing things collectively. If we start to individualise things, then we've got no chance because, and that's the beauty of football, It's ultimately, it's not, 1 against 1, it's 11 against 11. And if you can maintain that through the course of a game and minimise the influence of individuals as a collective, then you've got a better chance of success. But if we tried to stop Kevin and ignored Phil Foden or Ronaldo or don't make me name him, mate, I'll go through the whole team, then, I think we fall into a trap. Thanks, guys. Thank you.